This is a direct message to those who call themselves educated, thinkers, leaders, and anyone who's ever taken a paycheck and believed they understood the system. If you can read between the lines, you already know this message is not just words. It's a signal, part of something bigger. This is a real challenge, a test of intelligence, integrity, and depth. Because while the surface world, the so-called 3D world, has its place without characters and morals, it all collapses. The world is on a stage right now, a kind of World Series of consciousness. And the irony is that most don't even know they're in the game. So here's the real question. Can you evolve past labels, past ego, and past systems, and still live with principles when no one's watching? How you interpret this message says everything about you, not me. I'm just a messenger. And as for who I work for, well, I guess that's for you to figure out. Oh, okay, where are we at with updates? Because I'm totally fucked. Extreme pain. I got my period, let's say, a week early, and every period I'm getting now, I'm 38, and it's getting worse. Like, there was a time in my life, I guess almost like 5-6 years ago, where I was getting periods that were really bad, but this is like every period the pain is so much worse. But last time the pain was bad, but it only lasted, like, it was like heavy bleeding, and then it lasted for like, I don't know, a day or two or whatever else, but that comes with it, like, or sorry, 2 days, and then it didn't last 7 days, it just went away. So I guess I'll take the pain more. Goes back to, it's like the scene, maybe the guy's understanding, like, when our bodies, and but we still push ourselves or go to work or do whatever, but our bodies aren't actually meant to do that. Women too, right? We push ourselves, and then eventually it just shuts down. It's actually meant, that's why we need each other, different things. But we went into that speech last time, so I'm not fucking getting into that this time. What I see with visions yesterday was miscarriage. There's a lot of blood that I had, and the feeling of, the miscarriage, losing a child, which symbolizes a lot of deaths and different things, and also understanding of people who have been pregnant and lost children, had other miscarriages or whatever. But I felt that, which obviously I empathize with. She's a fucking cunt in a lot of ways and different things, but and that, you know, what people go through and then how they turn and what they do to people. So, like, I've been through hell and back, and I didn't do these shitty things. So I'm like, well, she is a shitty human, but I feel I empathize on that level with those things. But how they're destroying the kids is absolutely wrong. It goes back to, so I'll just back it up, the visions of, they said I was getting my period. I'm like, oh, vampires. I saw it before. It was like in the old, at 50 Road, the houses, like vampires flying around, people, whatever, don't invite them in, shut the doors, this and that. Well, now it's like the vampires are right in my face, right there, and I'm like, well, I bet you I got my period. I wipe it, I got my period. So I'm like, well, I'm not fucking surprised. So that's how I test my theories. So I already tested my own theories. The vampire things are real, I know that. And then it got really weird and crazy, right? Because that was, but that's really where, like, because Angie, because of the rapes, back in the 1600s with the witch vampire rapes. So then I guess, then in the real world, you had to go to prison for that, because I saw you in prison. And that ties back to the kind of like the Shawshank Redemption thing. So that kind of goes in there, but then you got to break out of the vampire thing. Or the prison thing, but then you were at the door, and then Luke was like, no, he was actually, like, we had to get the guys, like, no, and then, but then it went sideways again because of whatever else you guys were doing with your weird fucking thing, right, where Jim's instructing some sort of weird porn thing, which I'm not talking to Jim, because he's always creating this weird, putting me in these weird fucking situations, so that's fucked. So I guess it's fair to say, because I'm to talk about extreme, like, I see, like, the pain is so bad, what I feel or see is, like, literally, it goes back to, like, literally my guts being ripped out of me. That's how, like, I'm like, oh, like, I just, like, all the pulling of the guts and the pain, and then the world around, and all of these different things. So they come in through different experiences, and then that goes back to, so yesterday, you know, at, or he messaged her, well, I'm your fault, like, you need to talk to me, and blah, 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 blah. And I get, like, he hasn't seen her and everything else, and this is the problem. He's still not understanding how that's all about him. I'm your father. You need to talk to me. You need to see me. And you talk to somebody like that who's angry already. Like, you have to think she's so brainwashed by this mother, and this mother has created so many problems. And this mother has been so sick. Like, she's literally caused the same time. He's not really understanding, like, the way he's dealt with it. Like, like, by always kind of being reserved or not talking or not engaging and not listening, how he makes it about him. And then you're not navigating things around, well, like, the way he's handling, like, he's only equipped to do what he's doing, but he doesn't realize that that's not working. And then it's still always about him. So that's, as a child, like, she's 15 or whatever, I know, like, my father talked, like, it would infuriate me, like, who the fuck do you think you are? You're not respecting my space. I told you I don't want to see you, and you're doing that. He's like, well, I haven't seen her for whatever. I can't even talk to him about her perspective. He's absolutely wrong. I understand he's hurting, though. That part I empathize with. You haven't seen your daughter, the pain of that. But like I said, the best things would be to just, like, send a card, say I love you, just check it, like, give her this, like, I love you, you know, whatever it is, but in a space of here, like, but by not these controlling things and behaviors and whatever else. Like, the problem, like, she's not gonna get well with two parents that are at each other that are so sick, unless she completely kills them off and breaks away from them, because both of her parents are absolutely dangerous for her. And that's why she's so angry, but she's so tied to the sickness of this mother and taking that the mother is destroying her. And that's the thing. My circumstance was my mom was already gone. Like, she mentally was gone. So I didn't have an attachment, nobody, whatever. And my dad, like, nobody ever attached themselves to me. Nobody was ever, like, daunting over me or so focused. Like, nobody ever really saw me or paid attention to me. That's why I had this, you know, and then you go somewhere and then you get into relationships that are controlling, because you're actually secretly, ironically looking for it. And then when somebody tries to control you, you get fucking pissed off, right? And it doesn't, and then you run away. But the irony is, everybody's, like, humanity, we all have, we want to be kept, we want to be owned in the, like, everybody says they don't want to be, right? That's why we're in this fucking mess, right? Don't fucking tell me what to do. It's like, as soon as you tell me what to do, I'm doing the opposite. But at the core of that is because it's like a fear, fight or flight, right? But when you're loved and it's like there's a trust, and then you don't worry about that. But people that grew up on survival don't have that. But and then you're brought up on this twisted love, which is what, you know, this is the circumstance really that my daughter's in with her father and their stepmother, which is sick, and it's this in a different way. And then you got this one on that side, so that's not right. So this, oh, the love, but no, your claws are in there, and that's the damage that really parents and society has done to their kids now for a very long time. And that's why kids, we're seeing, aren't getting that sense of purpose and that sense of self. And, you know, because of your own fears as a parent, putting that on your child is abuse. It's absolutely abuse. Like, and then these parents think that they're like the winners, and then they're judging and criticizing and hating on, when it's like, no, actually, say that it takes a village to raise a kid. That, like, I'm not, like, that because she's closed off, nobody else says I'm only the mother, I'm only the one who's allowed to do whatever. How she sabotaged the relationship now in all of these circumstances to not feel alone is me. Who can understand her more than anyone is me. Who's never judged her, who's only just shown her love and let her talk, is me. And they will not let me have a communication with her. How sick is that? Both of them. Right? But it's and the control. And they want, and this is where kids either then they take off to the other side of the country, and they don't want to have, like my sister did. She, like my stepmother, she left. Like, it's a subconscious thing. You don't even know. Like, you think, oh, whatever, but and then they think, oh, this just happens. Or we say when they're teenagers, they're just moody and hormonal or whatever. No, it's actually not normal. People just normalized it because the masses are doing it. So just because the masses are doing it doesn't mean it's right. How about actually being honest and going, this is fucked up. This is wrong. Like, this is wrong. But it's just been happening for so long that it's become acceptable in society that people think these things because everybody's just playing house. Nobody's actually been, like, everybody's full of shit. I've analyzed everything. And I'm not going to pretend I can't head switch and see different things anymore because I can. So everybody should know that I'm so fucking disappointed. That's how I feel right now. Just fucking disappointed in humanity, period. I really am. I'm like, I understand that there's times where I'm a voice for these other things or other spirits. I fall into that category too. I'm human, so I make mistakes. I don't generalize and not put myself in a category for sure. Like I said, I don't put people above me or below me in those ways. I see that I have to work through the steps. That's why I won't. I could go out and do it. If it was about money, I could go, are you fucking crazy? I could easily go get money in different ways from people. It's not about money. I could easily go do whatever. No, it's about, I have integrity. I've made many mistakes. I look back at my past, go to, with the miscarriage thing. There was I've never had a miscarriage. I've never had an abortion. No. Have I lied about having one before? Yes, I did. To one particular person. Yes, I did. Why? I don't know. I think I hated him so much. That was actually the thing. I didn't want it. He wanted me to be his girlfriend. I didn't trust him. And he was one of those, like, very well off. Mommy and daddy took care of him, but he had his job. He made a lot of money, probably at least, like, whatever, like in a sales type thing, for sure, a good amount of money. He invested in properties, houses, whatever, by society standards. Like, and he was a good looking guy, like quote unquote would be like model perfect. And I was like, ugh, like something about him creeped me out, yet I kept seeing him. Also, though, I was married. I was having an affair with him. And but I would break up, get back together, break up, get back together. He wanted me to leave my husband and be with him. And he's like, I'll take care of you forever. I'll be your wife. And I'm like, eh. And I saw it because he was cheat. Like he'd get with people and then he'd cheat. And I just didn't trust him and he made me sick. And then my excuse to get out of seeing him was that. That's what I lied about. So I'm like, no. And then I was like, oh, I don't feel comfortable continuing this. That's how I got out of that scenario. But it's like I wanted to make him hurt. Is that wrong? Absolutely. Like to make up a lie like that, totally. Later in life, I did tell him that I lied. Yes, I did. Later in life, I did. Because I was like, this is ridiculous, and we came across and whatever, and I did tell him the truth. But that's the like, I just don't want to have, like, I don't, girls, like men do too, but traditionally make up these bullshit things for attention and whatever else. I've been there. I'm not doing that shit anymore. I'm making up, I'm in my own little bubble, in my own little world, just creating story, and I just see things that are happening. And I'm letting other people on the other side do that. And I want to see what was created on that side for sure. And see if I'm right or wrong based on that side. I don't know. I can only be assuming. But like I said, I get different messages that come in at different times. Like vampires. I just know they exist. How that's produced and how that's made, I'd imagine that would have to be, again, the God science. So that would have to be brought up through whatever imaging and hologram, or whatever. I don't know. I just have to know, like, I don't know how you guys actually do it. And I say you guys because I know there's people on the other end of the phone. I don't know how that's done. I just know it can be done. I just know logically, like, based on what I've seen, how computers are connected, how things work, how like, you could possibly make, all these different things. I'm like, well, if they can make it in a movie, they can make it in real life. Somehow, some way, it's already been done. I always had that theory, so that was an easy thing, because my circumstances and my surroundings don't have these things in my life doesn't mean they don't exist. They exist for somebody else. Okay, well, what does that mean in connection to me? And then blah, 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 figuring that out from there. So, yeah, this week, I don't have my computer, I don't have my stuff, and I was, like, getting all, like, oh, I gotta make this list and more things to do and whatever else, because, like, I find I get extra anxiety when I'm alone if I'm not achieving things because of wanting to get out so bad. But at the same time, realizing I have to just stop and I have too many people that talk to me, too many voices, too many guides that just telling me, you don't feel good today, it's okay. It's okay to relax, because especially when I don't, like, I want to run away, right? Like, I've wanted to run away now. Well, I did run away, and then there was nowhere to go. right? And then I went to the hospital and there was more abuse. I get out of the hospital. I'm like, okay, I'm fully prepared to be homeless. Like, I'll just fuck it. I'm going to be alone, because that's easier for the brain to shut down than to have to deal with everything else. And if you haven't been in a, happy birthday, Martha Stewart, if you haven't been in a situation that is so fucked where you've been like just brought down to nothing in the brain, like, then you don't get it. And that's where, and you can't, if you're homeless or on the street, you can't just build up to something else. You can't, like, that's where people, and then people, oh, get a job, get this, get that. You don't, like, fuck you. Fuck you. There has been no help. There has been no help. Doctors need to understand there has been no help. It's not been good enough. Not even a sand worth is good enough so far. That's how bad it was. That's how fucking ignorant humanity is. It's disappointing. But I also know this is the beginning, and I have faith that things are going to change. Have to. But the truth is, I am still so lonely. I am still depressed. I am still in pain. I am disappointed. I am not happy. You choose your own happiness. You make your own happiness. Blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm working toward it. I'm working toward it. But it's occurred to me that in my whole life, I've never been there. Never. It's all been a lie. And that's why I said with this switch, I see Jim's life, and he goes, I appreciate how he's lived and blah, blah, blah. And I said, he's lived. I have not lived. Now, going back, I'm sure he's going, the different things, and like having to bring up and poke at the PTSD just like everybody else is. And then you reevaluate and go through different things, and had, like, because you push these, but got to live. I have not got to live. I'm still not getting to live, because I'm living everybody else's life, including yours.